golf obviously gets a whole lot of you and your friends and your partners and your four-ball and of course business associates out here. Who's your best bunch for a morning game?
Well, I have several bunches, because I'm more irregular than they are. So I just need to be tag along with whoever I can. One of the persons I've been playing golf with is Vikram Bakshi of McDonald's. As you know, he's the master franchisee for McDonald's in the north. And Vikram and I go back several years. We played golf several years. And I never was in the retailing business and I didn't have much interest. So we never used to talk about McDonald's. But once we started work in India with Wal-Mart, we used to talk a lot about retailing. And within about 6 months of arrival, we used to bet on the golf course. Invariably, I used to win money from him and feel good about it. And then I realized that, he was, one time he wanted to change the bets. And he says, we're not going to pay for money, Raj. We're going to pay for something else. So I said, okay, whatever. So he said, I'll let you know once we are done with. I was overconfident. I thought I'm going to win. And I lost that round. And then he said, now I'm going to tell you what. I said, what was the bet? He said, the bet is that you're not going to poach any people from me.
I like that. You keep the result at the end.
Yes. So.
But I also actually infer from it that when they put money in, Raj has a better chance. Is that what it turned out?
Well, yes, maybe. And, maybe something to do with my irregular golfing. That I'm unpredictable.
Or you're so busy making money that whenever you get a chance on the course, that's only when you win.
Well, retailers seldom leave money on the table.
Yeah, I like that. That's an admission, guys. Here, definitely, retailers seldom leave money on the table, and I think a lot of people could vouch for that. But tell me now, when will retail start making money in India?
I think retailing is a long haul, especially grocery retailing. It's not a very high margin business. It's a medium to low margin business. It's a scale business. And to develop scale, you need to keep investing back whatever you make back into the company and back into growing. Yeah. And therefore, this is going to be, it takes several years to make money in retail. And I think some of the recent Indian companies in retailing, which like Subiksha, etc., wound up is probably, didn't get that cycle right. And that's the critical about retailing. So it's a long-term business. It's not a business where you get in, make money in 5 years and get out of it.
Okay. I know your favorite shot is the chip shot, so let's
play that.
Now, of course, that you tell me that there are challenges ahead to make money, for sure. I think that one of the big things that I've experienced in covering retail is the whole issue of the way the government looks at it. They're not too happy with the idea of foreign direct investment, even though the Prime Minister many times says, let's make the sector competitive. Where is the solution?
Well, I think I was very encouraged when the Prime Minister said this very recently in a Chief Minister's conference on food inflation. I think, as you know, food inflation is a huge issue right now in our country. And I think it will continue to be an issue for several years. It may go off for a year and it will come back again. And, my own belief is that the true, solution to, or part of the solution to food inflation lies outside the farm. And it lies in a strong supply chain, which can only be developed if foreign direct investment is allowed in retail. Because in the long run, foreign investors are not going to just invest in the supply chain with no end in mind in terms of being able to sell to customers. So I think it's a critical part. My own impression also is I think that a lot of people and a lot of politicians and leaders understand the rationale. It's just getting the political will and the timing right to open it, because it just doesn't seem to make any sense to be able to get worried about whether small mom and pop stores will survive or not, which, by the way, our own government reports show is not an issue.
Tell me something. I mean, since this is going to be a recap for many of our viewers who've been looking at this recession and retail and so on, what kind of growth rates is the sector going through right now?
I think this sector can grow easily at 30 to 50% a year.
But is where?
It would be, I think, of the order about 15 to 20% right now.
Okay. Yeah. And the industry at one point was touted to be a multi-billion dollar industry. Where are we in terms of getting closer to figures?
Again, I think the industry's had a rough year last year or the year before, and there's been a lot of sort of weaker players which have gone bust in the recession time. So I think in absolute terms it may have actually even contracted last year. But I do believe what is left behind is some very strong domestic players.
It's time now for our rapid fire. Raj Jain, one thing that you would like to want a mulligan for in life?
No, I don't regret anything, and I think if it was to be run all over again, I would just live my life the way I have lived so far.
That's lovely to hear. I know that in golf your ambition is to bring down handicap from 18 to 15, but which is your ideal 4-ball?
I would love to play in a 4-ball with Tiger Woods, with Jack Nicklaus, and with Jeev Milkha Singh.
Awesome. I like the Indian factor, and it certainly helps, besides the fact there's awesome golf. What I must ask you though is that where would you like to play that 4-ball? Which course?
I think it'll have to be the DLF because I live here. I love to play the home course. I once played with Jeev actually on a Pro-Am, and he gave me several strokes, and I actually won some money off him. So I think
he won money off Jeev Milkha Singh. Awesome. That's great going then.
So therefore, I think
you'd rather keep the home advantage by being on the home course.
So when they're asking me, hey, what is behind those trees? It's good to tell these big guys what's behind those trees.
Yeah, or not to tell them what it
or
is.
not to tell them.
But having said that, is there anything else you would have wanted to be but the man in retail or in the consumer durables industry?
I think from a career standpoint, I always wanted to be in a consumer-led business. And I'm very happy that in my career I've worked for companies like Hindustan Lever, Whirlpool, and now retailing. So it's kind of completed my entire gamut of understanding consumers and so on. The only other industry I would have considered now with the benefit of hindsight would have been financial services. And probably
that's because you'll make a lot of money on the golf course.
Absolutely, and off the golf course too.
Okay.
So I would have by now retired, which would have given me more time to play golf.
If you have a mantra, does that work for you in work and golf?
You plan your life, you plan your objectives, you work hard at them, and no matter what people say, just stay with them and keep believing in yourself, and God takes care of everything in the end.
Right. Even though you might have surprise shots, bad shots, good shots, bunkers, there's a recovery always to play. Thanks so much for joining us. Good to have you.
Nice to meet you.
That wraps up this special episode with Raj Jain of Wal-Mart. But week after week, here on Tea Time with me, Shaili Chopra, we bring you everyone who's game for business. Thanks so much for joining us. See you next week, same time, same day.